All right, so once again, a pleasant evening to everyone. You have to go to the office, Miss Peart, to verify that information. Okay? A pleasant evening, everyone. Welcome back to another session. This is going to be our seventh class of the term. I trust that everybody is okay, and I trust that everybody is ready and ready to go for another week. We're going to be learning some more new stuff. All right? Can somebody confirm if today is our core day or is it our fundamentals day? I think it's our core day. Can you confirm?
Yes, sir.
Right, only one person confirmed, so I'm going to assume that the silence means that everybody knows today is our core day. All right, here we go. I'm loading up my screen, guys, as we go. All right, so this would have been on the 8th. So this would have had to be in our last class. If you have any questions, guys, you can just put it in the chat. I'll try my very best to respond to you as best as I can. Any information regarding CXC, please visit the office, guys. I can't dispense information to you because I'm not fully aware of everything that's going on inside the office, okay? Alright, so I'm trying to find our document that we had. This is the 8th of the 10th, so that means it would have been 6th of the 10th. All right, in between time. All right, here we go. So far today we are doing measurement. We are continuing with our measurement part 1. And as you can see, as I'm zooming up on the screen here, you would have seen, for those who are new, I believe there's one new person in the class today. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy and I hope you learn something. As we're pulling up on the screen here, you would have already seen brief. My screen is not being shared. Okay, thank you.
Not serious.
Okay, my apologies. Should be seeing it now. Why do I have some persons coming in? I told this person I'm not going to admit this person because your name is not changed. So I don't know who you are. Alright. Alright guys, so as you can see on the screen here, we would have gone through quite a number of things as it relates to the topic of measurement. And as it's loading on the screen, you would have seen where we have here the rectangle. Alright, let's zoom it up here. So we have been looking at area of two-dimensional shapes. In particularly, we have been looking at the square. And we have been looking also at the rectangle as well. We've looked at formulas related to the square, formulas related to the rectangle, both perimeter and area. We've looked at a worded question in reverse. We've also looked at composite shapes. We've also looked at the triangle. And we've looked at how to interpret composite shapes as well. So we did a few examples on that. And in our last class, we would have introduced the topic of triangle. We looked at the properties of the isosceles, the properties of the equilateral, the properties of the scalene, and in particularly the property of the right angle triangle. And as you can see, as I'm scrolling here, we're looking at the work that we had done last week, Monday. We ended the class by writing down some formulas, which you can see here, which obviously means that today we are going to be diving into how to apply these formulas in different scenarios. All right. So each of these formulas thankfully that these formulas are provided to you by CSEC. So you have one less responsibility. Your only responsibility is to remember when to use them because you won't need to study the formulas. The formulas are given to you on the exam. So on my assessment, when you see a question related to the triangle, then you are going to see the formulas. You're going to see the formulas. So you don't need to spend any time trying to study them. But what's most important is that you know when to use them and in which triangle. Okay? So that's the objective for tonight, guys. We are going to be looking at example questions related to the area of the triangle. And if time allows, we might dive into the parallelogram and the trapezium. All right? We're leaving the circle for last because that's a whole entire topic by itself. Okay? So hopefully we are ready, guys. Let us do a quick little recap. Get our first screen and let's get into it. So as I recall, then we looked at the isosceles triangle. All right. So as a recap, we looked at the isosceles triangle. So the isosceles isosceles triangle. And the main property of the isosceles triangle is that it has two equal sides. All right. So the isosceles triangle has two isosceles triangle has two equal sides. Give me a second, guys. As per usual, we know we're gonna have some difficulty with because the device is just starting. So just give me a second here. So start free up. Give me a second. Does give its early issues at times. So I guess by now you guys are accustomed to this.
Sir, your screen is not showing.
Go ahead. My screen is not being shared.
No, sir.
Thank you very much. All right, so you should be seeing it now. If it jumps off again, guys, just please let me know, okay? All right, so here we go again. Hopefully we are good to go. Hopefully we're good to go. All right, so it has two equal sides, as we said. I don't know. Give me a second, guys. I don't know. If not even the eraser is working. It's crazy. Okay. Hopefully it's working now. All right, so we said that the isosceles triangle has two equal sides. And we know that the scalene triangle has no equal sides. The equilateral triangle has 3 equal sides. And then, of course, we have the most important triangle in mathematics. Just no other triangle that's more important than this one. And later on, you'll understand why that it has 190-degree. It has 190-degree angle. All right. Now, I believe that I mentioned, if I didn't, forgive me, but I'm going to mention it now, or I'm going to reiterate it, that a triangle, the formula that is related to the triangle, is not based on the type of triangle, but it's based mainly on the properties or the information given to you about the triangle. All right. So it's based on what is given to you about the triangle. So we're going to look at it now. All right. So our first formula then, right? We're going to be looking at our traditional formula. Whenever you ask a student, just randomly, right? When you ask a student, what is the area of a triangle? Without hesitation, they'll immediately come out and say that the area is equal to half base times height. You don't have to agree, but I believe that majority of you in here are that you are in that category of student that once asked what's the area of a triangle, you immediately recall back primary school where we talk about the area of a triangle being equal to half base times height. All right. Now in my class at this level, you're going to understand that not only is this the area of a triangle, but it's the area of a specific triangle. This now is the area of the right triangle. So back in primary school, they would just generalize it because in primary school and like grade 7, grade 8, the teachers wouldn't generally be talking about angles and talking about triangles with 3 sides. Although they should, but they don't. Right? At the CSEC level, you have to be able to differentiate between the triangles. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us scroll up here and we're going to then categorize these then. All right, so we're going to start off with this then, that the area of a right triangle is equal to base times height divided by 2. That's the one I prefer using, all right? I'm going to go ahead and put this into a box right at the corner here. A is equal to base times height divided by 2. It's the same thing as saying half base times height. But as it relates to reverse questions, I really do prefer that you use this formula to simplify, and it will make more sense in a second. All right, so please make a note of that the area of a right triangle is base times height divided by 2. Let's look at 2 example questions. One, the first question is going to be a question where you can actually see the diagram. And the second question is going to be a question that there's no diagram, but the question is worded. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So on screen here, I'm going to see if I can get an actual triangular shape. Well, I don't have the right angle triangle shape here, but I'm going to have to draw one. Let's close this off here. So have a look at this, guys. All right, good. 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 That's our right angle triangle. All right. I remember that in our last class, we discussed that the orientation can change as well. So bear in mind that this is not the only orientation that it has. It just so happens that this is the most traditional one. Now, please remember, ladies and gentlemen, that for this particular example, the base is here. So let's going to call this base here 9 centimeter. And we're going to call this height here. We're going to call this height here 4 centimeter. All right. So in this question, then it says part 1, calculate the area of, I'm going to give the triangle a name, A, B, C. So calculate the area of triangle ABC. So they want to find the area, which obviously means that we're trying to find how large is this section in here? How large is it? What's the capacity of this? What's large, not capacity, but what's the total area of this space right in here? So when you get a question like this, number one rule in measurement, ladies and gentlemen, to simplify what you're going to be learning in this topic, it's best that you practice to write down your formula. I'm going to emphasize on that once more. When you get a question that is related to measurement, the most important thing to do is to write down your formula. So therefore, we're going to start off this question by saying A is equal to base times height divided by 2. All right. And so therefore then easily that the area is going to be equal to the base in this case is 9. And the height is going to be 4. And we're going to divide this by 2. So our final area becomes 9 times 4 is 36 divided by 2. So we end up with a final area here of 18 squared centimeters. All right. And that is how you calculate the area of the shape. That's all that's required if and when you see a question like this. Okay. All right. Any questions on that?
No, sir.
I don't expect a question, but somebody might have. Hold on. Finn, you have a question. Go ahead. Bernard, go ahead. You have a question. If you're talking, I don't think I'm hearing you, so you might have to type the question. Not sure what's going on with your audio. I type the question. If you can type it, then I can answer you. All right. All right, moving right along. Since there's no question on this particular one here, let's look at the worded questions. I'm going to pull up a little notepad here, and we're going to look at this question. I'm going to type on it in. So here's the question. All right, so this is the worded question in reverse. Here we go. Given that the area of a triangle is 74 square centimeters, so 74. This is how we write the square centimeters with this symbol here. Wait there. Where it is, square centimeters. So centimeter squared. So given that the area of a triangle is 74 square centimeters and its base is 14.2 centimeter, calculate the area of, calculate the length. Pardon me, guys, need to stay focused. Calculate the length. Calculate the height. Pardon me. Calculate the height of the triangle. For some of you guys, this is a very simple question, right? But we have other persons here that might not see this question as so simple. All right. And I don't think it's a very simple question, you know. You're asking if it's important to label it. Not necessarily. You know, I want to get you into the habit of understanding. CSEC labels the triangle. So I don't want to just draw a random triangle now and work in a bunch of questions and then I give you one in the exam and then you see a label, you think it's something new. So if it's important to label it, not necessarily, but we can. So here's the question, guys. It says, given that the area, hopefully you can see it, given that the area of a triangle is 74 square centimeters and its base is 14.2 centimeters, calculate the height of the triangle. Now, bear in mind, guys, that there is more than one triangle. So, in a sense, it is safe to say that this question is a little bit ambiguous. It is ambiguous because we said that we are given the area of a triangle. a triangle means that it could be isosceles, it could be equilateral, it could be scalene, and it could be right. So in order for us to know which is the correct formula to use, there has to be some other information. So in the first sentence, it is quite ambiguous, but it becomes unambiguous because I mentioned that the base is what? 14.2, and I'm looking for the height. There's only one triangle that contains a base and the height simultaneously. And that particular triangle is, in fact, the right triangle. The scalene may have a base, but it's never going to have a height. At least it has a height, but the height is not going to be given. An equilateral triangle also can have a base, but the height will never be given. And a scalene triangle usually doesn't have a height. Remember, height has to be a height doesn't exist without a base. You cannot stand up on thin air. A base can exist, without a height, but a height cannot exist without a base. So the mere fact that you see the question mention height, you know that one base have to involve, and there's only one triangle that has that combination, and that's the right triangle. So to start off this question, then, it is simply going to be where you read, you comprehend, and you understand that, okay, since they're talking about height and base, I have no other choice but to go ahead and say area is equal to base times height divided by 2. All right? Now, careful, guys, when you're reading the question, read the question with understanding. Because you find a lot of persons when you're working this question, they just go ahead and just take any numbers randomly. Like, I'll see a student do something like this 74 times 2 divided by 2. And it becomes so chaotic. It's just, when you see a student does this, it means that they don't understand what the question is asking. So pay very close attention. Let me grab a different color ink here so we can highlight some important things here. Look at this, guys. I'm going to zoom it up here. Hold on, give me a sec. Hold on. So have a look at this now, guys. Okay. Now, notice that the question says, given that the area of the triangle is 74. You know what they mean by that? They're telling you that you should put 74 underneath the letter A. You can't put 74 wherever you feel like. The specific position for 74 has to be underneath the letter A. And then you're going to follow the formula and it's going to tell you what to do. So 74 is going to be equal to the base is 14.2. So 14.2 goes here. And the height is what we're looking for. So the question mark is here. That's the height. So we're going to put back h here. And we're going to divide by 2. If you don't do it like this, ladies and gentlemen, and especially it's because you see, if you're not getting to the habit of writing down formulas before you calculate, you're always going to be stuck in a loop of guessing. Should I multiply? Should I divide? Should I add? Should I subtract? You're asking too much questions, so guess what? You get confused. However, you can remove that confusion simply by writing down your formula. If you write down your formula, and based on the question, you can take the respective numbers and place them in their respective position. So I placed the 74 right underneath the letter A because according to the question, the area is 74. So that goes underneath A. Also continuing, it says that the base is 14.2. So I placed the 14.2 where the letter B is, copying the formula times h divided by 2. Now, the next thing that you have to do, the only thing that you have to do here is actually to just divide the 14.2 by 2 because there's nothing over here to do. There's nothing here to do. What is there to do? It's just a constant, 74. But the 14.2 can be divided by 2. So essentially, we'll end up then with 74 being equal to 7.1 times h. 14.2 divided by 2 is 7.1 times h. And by now, you guys should know that if we want to get rid of something that is connected by a multiplication, then the opposite is to divide. So we're going to divide both sides by, so we're going to say 74 divided by 7.1, and that's equal to going to be equal to h. Because when you divide this side by 7.1, they're both going to cancel. All right? So they're both going to cancel. So you're going to have equal to h here. So you go on your calculator. Can you verify this answer for me, please? 74 divided by 7.1 is going to be equal to? Go ahead, guys. I'm waiting for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's the answer? Talk to me. Where are my students?
10.4.
10.42.
How much?
10.42.
All right, so 10.4 is suffice. So 10.4 is going to be equal to the height. Okay? So please look out for questions like these, not only on assessment, but on CFP papers. This is what they do. They are testing your comprehension skills. And you've got to be practicing these questions, because if you're not, you're going to get tied up, right? You're going to always be in a loop guessing what to do and what not to do. Okay? I'm going to give you one to try and give you a mere 3 minutes to make an attempt to do a question of similar nature. All right, so go ahead for me now, guys, and try this one. Okay, writing the question on screen for you. A triangle, a triangle has an area of 47 square centimeters. 47 square centimeters. And its height is 12.3 12.3 centimeter. Calculate the dimension of its base. All right, so go ahead, guys, shoot your shot. I'm giving you a mere 3 minutes to go ahead and answer this question here. Okay, so here's your time on screen. Time is about to start. Go ahead, guys. I'm giving you 2 minutes. All right, take the whole 3 minutes. It's fine. Time is running out, guys. Step on the gas. All right, hurry it up, guys. You should be near to your answer. If not, you should already have your answer. And that is time. Okay, time's up. So let's get into it. Even if you're near to your answer, you should be okay. All right, let's see. So start off the question then. Oops, pardon me. Sorry. Oops. Here we go. So we're going to start off the working out by saying that the area is equal to base times height divided by 2. That's where you have to start. In this question, the area is 47, so you put 47 underneath A. In this case, we're given the height this time, so the base is unknown. So I'm going to write back B. The height is 12.3. I'm going to divide that by 2. All right, if you got there, you're doing good. 47 is going to be equal to base multiplied by, the only thing we can do on that side is divide the 12.3 by 2. So we should end up with 6.15. Somebody confirm that, please. 6.15.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that's base times 6.15. Let me write the 6 properly. I don't want you guys to think it's not a 6. It's 6. All right. So once you divide the 12.3 by 2, that gets 6.15. Therefore, 47 divided by 6.15 should give us the answer for the base. Therefore, what's our answer, guys?
7.6 centimeters.
7.6 centimeters. All right. If you got it, thumbs up to you. If you didn't get it or you made a mistake, make a note of the correction so you don't make the mistake that you made again. All right. That is it. All right. So pretty basic so far. We're not going to touch perimeter of the right angle triangle because we're going to need the Pythagoras theorem to find the third side. And we're not yet at trig. So for now, we're going to just hold on to just finding the area of the right triangle. All right, I'm checking the chat to see if there's any questions or any inquiries. Anybody has anything that they want to ask or verify?
Hi,
Stacey,
sir. I do.
go ahead. Go ahead. Question.
For example, we got the 6.15. We have to leave it with the two decimal places, or do we have
One
we
is
can
fine.
round it off?
Yes,
One
you
is,
can round it
so
off.
we could have just said 6.1,
6.2.
6.2, right? Round it off and say 6.2.
Yeah, and then you're going to end up with something like 7.5, which is still within the range or the margin of error, so it's still fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, I'm seeing everybody texting in the chat, so that's good. Amelia, I see you. I see Sassadine. I see everything that you guys are doing. So don't worry. If I don't call your name, sometimes I'm not focusing on the second screen. Lavani, I see you. Abigail, I see everything. Stacia, Dominic, Nicolette, I see everything, guys. Good job. Good job. Good job, guys. Good job. All right, so good. So we are now, oops, let me just undo that. Okay, here we go. So here we go. That is the area of a right triangle. So keep an eye out for questions like that. Let's move on next to another type of triangle. All right, so now we're not going to be finding the area of a scalene. Well, in this example, we are, but please do not label this as a scalene formula, because if you do, when you see an isosceles triangle, you might think it cannot be used. So here's how we're going to label it. We're going to look at the area of a triangle. Why am I writing so awful? Oh, Lord. Area of a triangle given all three sides. Area of a triangle given all three sides. So area of a triangle given all three sides. What are we looking at then, ladies and gentlemen? We are looking at this triangle here. So here we have this triangle, okay? It looks like a scalene, and it might be. It can be. Most of the time it is. But it's not limited to just a scalene. Okay. All right. So there we have a nice little triangle there, guys. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give each side a different measurement. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to call this side A. I'm going to call this side A, that side B, and that side C. If I name a triangle with 3 different letters, by logical reasoning, it means that I'm trying to say to you that all 3 sides are different. Now, if you meet up on a situation like this in the future, then what you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is a gentleman, a mathematician by the name of Heron. I don't remember his first name. I don't think I know his first name, but it's called the Heron's formula. Some of you guys might be familiar with it, meaning that you've seen it before, but maybe you didn't know how to use it or when to use it. So it's called Heron's formula. And Heron's formula is 2 parts. The main formula is, here's the main formula, guys. And I think I should write it below here so it can be big so you guys can see it. So it's the square root of S bracket S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. And this is the formula for the area, but we cannot find the area unless we find the value of S. So S is called the semi-perimeter. So S, put in bracket here, put it in red. SE, pardon me guys, hold on. SEMIPERIMETER. So the S stands for semi-perimeter. Okay? So we're gonna go ahead then now and we're gonna say S is equal to A plus B plus C divided by 2. So these are your 2 formulas that is associated with this triangle, right? So in order for you to use the main formula, which is this one right here, that's the main formula. For you to use this formula, you first have to get this value here, which is S. Now the prefix semi means a half. That's why we're dividing by 2. And perimeter means the distance around. That is why I'm adding A to B to C. A plus B plus C. So when I add those together, I'm getting the perimeter. But I'm looking for the semi-perimeter. So I'm looking for half of the perimeter. Now, if you notice that once you get S, S seems to repeat itself here and here. So S is here, S is here, S is here, S is here. And if you also look closely, that A, this A here is here, A is here, B is here, C is there. So it looks like a complicated formula. And I don't judge you if you think it's complicated, but in a second, you're going to see that we can uncomplicate this formula, right? If we understand what it is saying. So that's your information. Hopefully you guys are taking it down. I'm going to go ahead and kind of zoom up a little, not zoom up, but scroll up here. Hopefully you guys have that. You can screenshot it if you want to. Or if you're writing while I'm teaching, that would be good. So I'm going to draw a fresh triangle. Then we're going to apply this formula here.
Excuse me, sir. Can you scroll back up? I did not get a screenshot it in time.
Okay, sure. All right, just give me a second. Here you go. That's the information. Let me to zoom it up a little bit for you. Here you go. You good to go?
Thank you, sir. You can move.
You
Yes, sir.
are most welcome. Let us move right along then. So we're gonna draw a fresh triangle. All right, a fresh one, and then we're gonna apply it. Okay, so here we go. Here is the triangle. Remember, guys, most of the time it is a scalene triangle, but that doesn't mean that it's limited to just being a scalene, because the formula can be used for an equilateral, which is kind of weird in a sense. and it can also be used for an isosceles as well, right? But essentially, the Heron's formula is used to find the area of a triangle when you're given all three sides. So here we go, guys. Let's go. I don't like that. I do not like this triangle. It's not the best one, but all right. So that's our triangle. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it P, Q, R. I'm going to give it some measurement. I'm going to call this side 9 centimeter. I'm going to call this side 18 centimeter. I'm going to call this side 13 centimeter. All right. And so on the exam paper, assessment paper, what you'll see is question 1. 1. Calculate the area of P of triangle. Hold on. So calculate the area of triangle PQR. All right. As Finn would have asked earlier, is it important to name it? You won't be the one to name it. It will be already named for you. Okay. So you don't have to name it. It will be named for you. All right. So if you look at this then, ladies and gentlemen, let us eliminate what I don't want you to do. When students get flustered and all them can remember is the one formula that they have been programmed to remember for all these years, they'll be like, I don't remember what the Heron's formula is. I don't remember how to use it. So you know what? I can't be bothered. I'm going to use half base times height. And so they're going to make this be the base. Give me a sec, guys. Hold on. So what they're going to do now is that they're going to get flustered and be like, oh, this is the base because it's at the bottom. And they're going to decide, they're going to guess between, okay, you know what? Height usually long, so I'm going to just use the 13 for the long side. And it gets really complicated like that. So we don't really want that, guys. All right. So in this case, there is no height, right? For a height to exist, students, escúchame por favor. For a height to exist, there has to be a 90-degree angle. For a height to exist, there has to be the presence of a 90-degree angle because a height has to be perpendicular to a base. You don't see any angle, nor do you see a 90-degree. Hence, therefore, this is not a right-angled triangle, leaving you with the option of only using Heron's formula. So with Heron's formula, we know that A is equal to the square root of S bracket S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. All right. And so we can't use that formula as yet because we need the value of S. So we're going to go ahead then and say S is equal to A plus B plus C divided by 2. Notice, guys, that I'm actually writing my formula. Notice, though, even though I can do it without the formula, I'm still writing it. So that's going to be 9 plus 13 plus 18 divided by 2. All right. Now, I know what you guys are asking me. Sir, do I have to make 9A and 13B and all that additional stuff. You don't, guys. Any side can be A, B, or C. You can even make that side be A, that side be B, and that side be C. You can make that side be A, that side be B, and that side be C. And then in the calculation, you change it around. Are these persons so late for my class? I don't understand. Alright, guys, going in the future, if I don't know that you're at work or there's a convenience with you after 7:30, I'm not letting anybody else in the class. Remember, even though it's online, it is still a class that requires you to be present from the beginning. Okay, so unless you tell me from in the day that, sir, I'm going to be late because of XYZ, then you might be stuck in the waiting room and I'm not going to let you in. Okay, you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage. If I don't know that you're going to be late, you have to let me know so I can at least accommodate you on those days. Okay. All right. So 9 plus 13 plus 18 divided by 2. 9 plus 13, that's going to give us, let me see here. 9 plus 13, that's going to give us 22. And 22 plus 18, that's going to be 40. 40 divided by 2, that's going to give us a semi-perimeter of 20. So right here now, we have a semi-perimeter of 20. Now, we know what S is. S is now what? 20. So if you bring this formula down here and we say that area is equal to the square root of S, which is 20, open bracket. This is S again, guys. I know it doesn't look like an S, but it's an S. S, which is 20 again, minus the value that we chose for A, which is 9. Open bracket again, 20 minus B, which is going to be 13. Open bracket again, 20. Pardon me. Okay. Open bracket again, 20 minus C value, which we chose was 18. All right. So we can apply our PEMDAS rule because we know that bracket means to multiply. And we also know that we have to work out what is in the bracket first. Yes. So let's go ahead and do that. Area is going to be equal to 20. Remember, say bracket means to multiply. What is in the bracket? 20 minus 9 is going to give us 11. 20 minus 13 is going to give us 7. 20 minus 18 is going to give us 2. All right. Then we can proceed down to say that's going to be equal to square root of, let's just give some space here. So somebody, one of my students who loves the calculator, can go ahead and tell me what is 20 times 11 times 7 times 2. 2 times 14, that's 28. That's 3,000 something. Talk to me. 3,080.
That's correct, sir.
All right.
That's correct.
3,080. 3,080. Good. All right. So for those of you who have a calculator but do not know what the square root looks like, we're going to go ahead and find the square root button right now. Okay. A square root is this button right here, the one with the square, that one right here. So let me highlight it. Look on your calculator or on your phone if you see that button that is highlighted. Sometimes it has the 2, sometimes it doesn't. That's your square root. So we're going to go ahead and type the square root of 3,080. It should come up on the screen looking like that. Press the equal. Your answer is 55.49. Round this off to 55.5 or leave it at 55.49. It doesn't matter. It's within the margin of error. So the answer therefore is going to be 55.5 rounded off to 1 decimal place. All right, so that's going to be 50. So the area then is equal to 55.5 square centimeters. And that is the area of that triangle. Okay. So it's not really a challenging question if you stop and think about it. Like if you really open your mind to it, you'll realize that it's not really as challenging as how it appears to be. It just requires a little bit of understanding, and then you guys should be okay. All right. So you guys are going to go ahead and show me what you've got using that information that I just gave you a while ago. You're going to replicate and work this question out for me. All right. So your question is going to be on this side here. Carry this over here. In a second. Just need to zoom it up just enough so you guys can copy both sides. Okay. And so I'm going to draw your question over here, guys, and you're going to go ahead and use the same information and calculate the area of this triangle for me, please. All right. Remember, it looks like a right angle triangle, but be very mindful. Unless you see the 90-degree indicator, you cannot make an assumption that it looks like. There's no such thing as look like in mathematics, okay? And so go ahead now, guys, using these measurements, please tell me what is the area in three minutes. I think 3 minutes should be suffice. It shouldn't be too hard, okay? So here are the measurements, guys. I'm gonna put 7 centimeter here, 7 centimeter here. I'm gonna write it good, because I don't want you guys to make a mistake and blame me. 7 centimeter. I'm gonna call this 14 centimeter. Come on, Mr. Peart. So that's gonna be 14 centimeter. And then this is going to be, let me see here now, guys. Hold on. Let's see here. 4, 9, 30, 15, 9, 9, 9, 9, 11, 12, 16, 11 centimeter, 11 centimeter. All right. So go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and calculate the area of that particular triangle. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Okay. Don't take too long now. Your time has begun. Time is running out, guys. A minute and a half. Step on it. And that is time. So you should either be near to your answer or you have achieved the answer. Now let me just take a minute to pause and explain to you guys why I'm always timing you, because perhaps you're feeling like I'm rushing you. But usually one of the major problems that students have, because you're not coached or you're not trained under this condition, is that they go into exam thinking that they have the whole entire year or the whole entire time. And they're thinking that, oh, I can do this question and take 20 minutes to do it. Okay? You have to learn, you have to understand, guys, that as we go deeper and deeper, you're going to learn more stuff. It's going to become more challenging to remember these things. But at the same time, you can't spend 20 minutes on a question trying to get 15 marks when you can use half that time and get 8 marks, move on, and use that other time to get 12 other marks elsewhere. You have to manage your time. If you're not managing your time, it means that you're overthinking. You have to move quickly because you only have 2 hours and 40 minutes to complete 10 questions or attempt the 10 questions. All right. So that's why I'm timing you. Okay. So here we go. So we know that the area, give me a sec here, guys. Hold on, let me grab a black ink. All right, so we know that according to what we have discussed so far, that the area, oops, so sorry. Give me a second, guys. All right, so here we go. So the area of the triangle formula is A is equal to the square root of S bracket S minus A. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm writing like this. Let me just zoom up so I can write a lot more legible. And then zoom back out. Okay, here we go. So area is equal to the square root of S bracket S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. So first thing we need is to find S, which is going to be 14. Well, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So I'm going to start from here. 7 plus 11 plus 14 divided by 2. So 7 plus 11 is going to be 18. 18 plus 14 is going to give us 32 divided by 2. And that's equal to 16 centimeters. So the semi-perimeter is 16 centimeters. So 32 divided by 2 is equal to 16. That's my S value. This S value is going to go into this position here, this position here, this position here, and that position there. So I'm going to go ahead and say area is equal to the square root of 16, open bracket, 16 minus 7, 16 minus 11, and 16, 16 minus 14. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and say A is equal to the square root of 16. We know that bracket means to multiply. Remember, I've seen students adding as well. I see students adding, so 16, not plus, but 16 times the result of 16 minus 7. That's going to be 7. So, no, that's not 7, that's 9. What am I doing? All right, so 16 minus, that's 3 plus 6 is 9. Times 16 minus 11 is 5. And 16 minus 14 is 2. All right, so then, therefore, we're going to go ahead and area is equal to the square root of, can somebody tell me what that answer is, please? You might be putting it in the chat. I'm not reading it. Hold on. Let me check see if anybody's going ahead to talk in the chat.
1,440, sir.
1,440. Oh, is that Nicolette? Are you giving me the answer already? You might be giving me the answer. So what's the final answer then? I'm seeing answers like 37 point something in the group.
37.
So for those who, okay, so that's 37. Yeah, I'm looking in the chat and I'm seeing Nicolette and Latisha giving me that answer, and Amelia as well. So 37.9 centimeter squared. Okay, and that is it. All right, so that is how you use the Heron's formula. Just keep your eyes open for when you see a triangle with all three sides given. Okay, so I did one, you did one. The only thing left for us now is to practice a couple of questions on this, which I, as I said, due to my university responsibilities, you're not seeing anything being posted. But when I start posting heavy. So just bear with me, guys. I have to structure the questions in such a way that they do look like an exam, as opposed to just some bunch of questions that is carrying you all over the place. So the worksheets have to have a compilation of stuff that we've been doing. So I kind of throw out random questions just for you to practice. That's not good, effective practicing. So just bear with me, guys. You will be getting loads of practice questions as soon as I get the time to balance everything. Okay. Oh, yes. And just to remind you, so some person that came in late, you have an assessment on the 29th of October, which is going to be a Wednesday. Also, remember that there is no school on Monday of next week. Even though it's online, no school because of Heroes Day. Okay. So no school Monday coming. Again, so we lose time. Even with us being private institution, according to the education system, we have to give you your holiday. So again, we're losing time out of our less than 1 year that we have. So you understand the importance of making use of our time when we get it. All right, so no school on Monday, assessment on October the 29th. And remember to visit the office to get verification on your CXC payment, right? How much it costs, all that stuff. Do your due diligence, ladies and gentlemen, and do not let it be said that you were not told to do so. Okay? All right. Now, final lap now. We don't want to come back to the triangle next class. If you come back to the triangle next class, it's just going to simply be a case where we are revising one or two questions, okay? So let's move on then now to the last one, last property now. And this one now is when you're asked to find the area of a oops, it's too big. Let's just carry it to the side here. This is going to be the area. Okay, hold on. So we're going to be looking at finding the area of a triangle with two sides and the included angle. So this one now is the one that involves an angle, the included angle. All right, let's put an underline here. All right, wanted it to be straight, but okay, here we go. So area of a triangle with two sides and the included angle. The included angle. What do we mean by this now? All right, so here's what we're looking at. We have this triangle here. Once again, this triangle does not have a base, nor does it have a height. The only thing you know about this triangle is that it has two sides The only thing that we know about it is that it has two sides. So we have this side here. We're going to call it A and B. We don't have the third side, so we can't use Heron's formula. The only thing that we have is the angle between the two sides. So this is kind of like your first little introduction to angles, but we're not really going too much into the whole angle idea, right? But this is where the first you're going to be learning about an angle. So we're going to call this angle theta. Okay, this symbol is called theta. I think that's what it's spelled. I'm not sure. Theta. All right, so that's a similar is used to represent an angle. So look at this now, guys. We don't have a height because there's no base, or there's at least no evidence of a base. So there can't be a height. So we can't use half base times height. We don't have all three sides, so we cannot use Heron's formula. So there has to be another formula that exists, and there is. That formula is called our sine formula. And so this formula is A is equal to A times B times the sine of theta. Let's write that properly, guys, so you don't get it mixed up. S-I-N-E. So S-I-N-E theta. So A is equal to area times base. Sorry, A is equal to A times B times the sine of theta divided by 2. Again, remember, guys, just to ease up the pressure off of you, remember that these formulas are provided by CXC on the exam paper. Your only task is to remember when to use them, not to remember the formulas. It helps you to remember the formulas because you won't have to look at the formula sheet, but save the space in your brain to remember formulas from coordinate geometry, because the formulas here, them come on the exam. So you don't need them, guys. Okay? You just need to know when to use them. So unlike the other ones that look a little bit more complicated, this one is a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just simply erase this side here. I'm going to put a number like 17. So we don't draw a fresh diagram. If you guys want to draw a fresh diagram, that's fine. I'm going to call this side, say here, 7 centimeter. I'm going to now name this angle in here. I'm going to give it an angle. I'm going to give it a name. This angle here is going to be, let's call it, let's call it 98 degrees. So that's the situation that's presented to you on the paper. Then you're asked to find the area of this. Now you cannot use Heron's formula because we do not have this side. So the previous formula cannot be applied, nor can you apply half base times height because you do not see a 90-degree angle. You see 98, but 98 and 90 is two different sizes. Okay. So therefore, then very easy. A can be 7, B can be 17. And then we're going to sine, I'm going to show you on my calculator on screen, sine of 98, and that's going to be divided by 2. All right. So if you pull up a calculator or you pull up your phone, whatever instrument you're using, sine is this button. Do you see it highlighted there? That is your sine button. So you should see SINCOSTAN. All of those are what we call trigonometrical functions. Okay. So we call them the trig functions, sine, cosine, and tangent. All right. So we're going to go ahead then and we're going to press sine 98. Some calculators require the number first, then the function. You have to know your calculator. We are getting 0.990. If you're getting something different, it means that your calculator needs to be reprogrammed and it is probably in radians mode. So you need to get it from radians mode. All right, so let me show you something. Some of you guys maybe because some of you guys bought a calculator and it wasn't programmed. So look at this. I'm going to change this to radians and look at this. Sine 98. If you guys are getting this, then it means that your calculator is or needs to be reprogrammed. All right, you just need to press shift, press mode, and I think press the number 3, and then it should reset the whole calculator. Otherwise, then put it back in degree, clear this, press sign, press 98, and you should get 0.9902. So that's going to be 0.9902. Just a second, guys. 0.9902. So that's going to be all right. So go ahead, guys, and help me out in the meantime. You can type everything on the calculator all at once, but I don't really want to do that. So what is 17 times? I know what. Go ahead. We are bright people. We can't bother with that. What is 17 times? What is 7 times 17 times the sine of 98? Don't press divide by 2 yet. What is 17 times 7 times the sine of 98? Come on, guys. Let's wrap it up in a nice fashion. 17 times 7 times sine 98. Yes, go ahead.
118.94.
Somebody confirm that. That doesn't sound too right.
I get 117.8.
Oh, okay. 1 Okay, that's fine. 1 what?
117.84.
Yes,
Miss McClarty.
1.84.
Oh, Jesus, Miss McClarty. When me hear now, when you said it, I'm hearing 1 point. So 1 means 11. Oh, come on, guys. 11 point how much? 11.84?
Look in the chat, sir. Yes, sir. 117.
You guys are talking in the chat.
17 point.
Sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I keep forgetting you guys are talking in the chat. Okay, 117.84. Okay, my bad. All right, Miss McClarty, sorry. Pop your bubble a while ago, but it's okay. You'll be all right. And then now go ahead and divide that by 2 now. Go ahead and divide that by 2.
58.92. And it's Johnson talking to you, sir.
Okay, Johnson, 58.92 square centimeters.
Yes.
All right. And I don't see anybody else getting 58 point square root of 1. I don't see anybody else getting 58.9 in the chat.
Sir, I got the same thing.
Okay, I got the same thing. I do need to point out something though, guys. Hold on. I need to point something out because you guys might be. So 17 times 7 times sine 98. Watch this now. Do not press divide by 2. You notice what is happening on the screen, guys? What this is doing is that if you press divide by 2 same time, the calculator understands that you want to divide 98 by 2, then sign it. So that's why we tell us if you press equal and then press divide by 2. Because if you don't, then 17 times 7 times the sine of 98 divided by 2, you're going to get a different answer. See that? Because the calculator is interpreting, or you're asking the calculator to divide 98 by 2, then sign it, then times it by 7, then times 17. Right? So if you want to do the whole divide by 2, then what you need to do is look at this now. I need to point this out because you guys, I guess a lot of persons don't know how to use the calculator. So 17 times 7 times the sine. Oh, where did I go? Sine 98. Close the bracket, ladies and gentlefolks. Then you press divide by 2. There you go. So be very, very mindful of what you do. If you're going to use the calculator and it's going to be your best friend, you need to know your best friend, how it's used. All right? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that would bring us to the end of the objective for this class, which was obviously to go through questions. So what you guys need to do from here on out is simple. Apply a little bit of practice when you get your worksheets. All right? And so this brings us to the end of another session tonight. So I hope that you guys learned something new. And if you did, as per usual, I appreciate you joining the class tonight. And I will see you guys on Wednesday, same time, same place. Have yourselves a good night, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir. All right. Good night,
Okay,
sir.
good luck, sir.
Good night,
See you
everyone.
later.